Hello, here's part 2 of Introduction to the Superorganism. What we're going to look at is the inner working metabolism of the superorganism, if you will. Superorganism is an entity made up of a whole bunch of people. And so what we want to do is we want to look at if that superorganism applies to the same rules and laws, Newton's laws of biology or Kleber's laws, as does a hummingbird or an elephant. And so here's an example of attempting to apply Kleber's laws to an anthill, and yes, it does work, and Kleber's law does apply to a superorganism, which is mass and lifetime can be correlated. And so then we also look at patterns. So what we want to do with Kleber's laws is, can Kleber's laws also be applied to communication and behavioral patterns? And so a really fun book, Scale by Geoffrey West. He was a particle physicist, or is a particle physicist, and wrote a book about applying Kleber's laws to the human population. And so one of the interesting things in his book is correlating population to walking speed in cities. So the bigger this city, the faster people walk, and it's positively correlated. But this can be traced back and connected with Kleber's laws, which is really interesting. And I think on the left side here is GDP, or overall health of a culture or a superorganism, can be connected to social trust and intercellular trust of the superorganism. So this becomes a real issue in the court system, because what you do in life, how much of it is deterministic or controlled or predicted by Kleber's laws of behavior and biology, and how much is free will. So real big problem in the criminal justice system. Just to elaborate a little bit, is if you look at your life path and you look at some of the emotional variables you've had in your life path, has it controlled which decision and your outcome of your life based on those things? And then, what I would think is that Kleber's laws apply to these emotional forces as well. So you can look at this as a Kleber law, Newton's laws of biology, emergent algorithms to control or to predict your life. And so again, in the legal system, a big problem. So what I've done is I've come up with this analogy, and this art was done by Igor Morsky. And it is a sensory sphere. It's your environment, it's your culture, it's all these forces of knowledge and learning. Would you be a different person in each one of these different sensory spheres? And of course you would a bit, but how much? And then what we can do is, again, look at these behavioral algorithms, these geometries that are predictable of social dynamics. So we get into stochastics and all these other things that emerge out of this Newton's laws of biology, which is very, very cool. But again, are you determined, or do you have free will? Very interesting question. And so what we can see here is someone's mapped the socio-emotional variables in a culture. And when bad things happen, then of course there's bad feelings. But does this affect your behavior moving forward? And how much of it is influential to the population? And so we're looking for that algorithm, that behavioral algorithm that's emergent out of Kleber's laws, that values and controls and predicts what you're doing. So what we can do is we can optimize governance around Kleber's laws as well. So our political system might need a different change based on the belief and the knowledge that Kleber's laws control or not control, predict. This is our natural way of existing. So can we synchronize governance to fit that biological Newton's laws of biology, which would optimize the superorganism and the social group? So this one is a fun one, that an homage to Hieronymus Bosch. So the superorganism, if it's not synchronized and aligned with some of these natural things, can become unfortunately difficult. And so the question is, how do you feel? Do you think that your superorganism, whatever one you're in, is aligned? And if it's not, then how do you breach? How do you get out of that one and shift? Well, some people use drugs. So breachers, innovators, and this is a healthy way to improve these breachers and innovators are sometimes coined as criminals. They're really healthy for the superorganism to reinvent itself, to create, to align, to become healthier. And so this is what we want. We want to do that. We want to grow. We want to have a big, healthy culture in superorganism. So in summary, the point is that just be mindful of the health of the superorganism. Make sure it aligns with the natural rules that we're all subject to.